what I like about doing this is it reminds me that, like, yes, we're in an art form, but we're also in a sport. Like, you gotta be at the top of your shit. And for the scripts that made it through or did really well, I'm like, look at these studious motherfuckers. Look at these people who really put in the time, studied structure, even if they then abandoned it. You know, paced this thing well, engaged all of these readers. Like, it's magical.
Welcome to Bitch Talk. I'm your host, Erin.
And I'm co-host Ange, aka Captain Party.
And for more than 11 years, the show has celebrated underrepresented voices in pop culture and beyond.
But not in the snore kind of way, which is why our listeners and followers have graciously voted us Best of the Bay, Best Podcast on 48 Hills for 3 years in a row. Three-peat, bitches.
If you like what you hear, follow us on Instagram and check out our website, Bitch Talk Podcast, and rate us wherever you listen to podcasts.
We're begging you to judge us. When does that ever happen? Oh, you're not going to say anything?
Oh, what'd I say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, on that note, on with the show. Clink.
I've got a coffee, I've got a mineral water, I've got my sandwich.
Yeah.
No chips? Okay, the chips.
I got the mineral water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got the coffee.
Yeah.
Oaklandish, get it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I got my little ciabatta.
Mm.
That's all right. Ange and I are a little bit low gear. We
What's
We
going
had
on?
had a little bit of a night. It's
We
fine.
accidentally, had a night.
It's fine.
What does that mean?
We drank too much because people kept buying us drinks. It was like, we're trying to leave. We get another drink.
The bartender was buying us drinks.
Yeah.
Where this was happening.
Pier
Have you ever-
23.
Yeah, Pier 23 in the city.
I love that spot.
Yes.
Exactly. They're slowly coming back. You know, they used to have music almost every night of the week. They're slowly coming back, and there was a pianist and a saxophonist last night.
Oh, yeah.
So we were like loving it because it felt like old Pier 23. And then,
And then,
Used to play Pier 23. So I love that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
The patio. Yeah.
Yeah, we did like hip hop shows there.
Yes.
Hip-hop shows. Yeah, exactly. Anyways.
It was amazing.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a good place to get fucked up.
Yeah, especially accidentally. It was just like,
It's stupid.
I know. Whenever that happens, we're like, what are we, in our 30s again?
Yeah.
Jesus. Partying like I'm in my 30s.
I know, that's my sentence now. I'm like, because I just turned 40. I was like, oh, I have to start saying like, oh, I'm not in my 30s anymore.
It's fun.
Can't do that. Or not even can't do that. Won't do that.
Yeah.
Also that.
All right, do what you gotta do. I'm taking a bite of my sandwich.
Okay. All right, bitch talkers. We are proud to celebrate the inaugural Bay List. If you don't know, you will find out all about it right now with sort of the beginning of it all. Rafael, Casal, you were really the power horse behind this happening. And you're also one of our favorite return guests. So welcome back to Bitch Talk.
Yes, I love being here.
Is he a power horse? What was that?
Powerhouse.
A powerhouse.
Oh, workhorse.
Workhorse powerhouse. It was.
I meant to say workforce. Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
It's here
it does,
now.
you guys.
But you were
I like
both.
horses. And
Also-
I do, I did I did try to make this Bayless thing happen. So here we are. It worked.
Yes, you did.
Exactly.
It's
Thank
great.
you. Everybody understood that. You didn't have to call me out. Anyways, Rafa, welcome back. But for our audience that doesn't know, if they didn't hear the episode from last year, which they should definitely do after this, please introduce them to the Bay List.
Yeah. So the Bayless is, well, let's backtrack, right? There's this thing called the Blacklist in LA, which is a big deal. It's been around for like 20 years. And it's this list that this guy, Franklin Leonard, and his team put together that is identifying the best unproduced screenplays around, right? And at this point, a bunch of Oscar winners have come off that list. Like, a bunch of really prominent movies have made it off this list. And what happened over time is executives started reading this list, looking for films that they could make. And it's kind of like doing the work for them, right? It's like, we've already told you what the best ones are. You just need to read them and make them. Then they started doing like culturally specific lists, so there was like a Latino list. There was an Asian Pacific Islander list, like they've done these really sort of fantastic sort of sub lists off the main list because there was a need for it and there was an ask for it and a want. but they hadn't done regionally specific lists. And I thought, hey, there are regions that have very specific climates for storytelling that I think are interesting. Like, I'm particularly obsessed with Bay Area storytellers. I think because of the politics of this place, because of the nature of how sort of diversity and inclusivity and the fact that we have a culture that sort of lives on top of one another here, it just breeds a very unique perspective. But Bay Area people also like will not move to LA. Like, we have a phobia, we have an allergy. We're just like, fuck them. And by the way, everyone in LA is like, we love you guys. What's the deal? Like, it's like a stepbrothers hatred that like has no reason to exist, really. But anyway, I think it's because people are like, oh, you're from California, you're from LA. And we like heard that too many times that we got bitter. And we started blaming LA for other people doing that to us. Like, LA had no part of that. It's the rest of the, it's like, we should be mad at Ohio, but we're mad at LA. But anyway, it's fine. So I was like, let's try to do like a regional specific list. And I met Franklin was one of the first people who did a panel with us when me and David did Sundance the year that Blind Spotting was there. So we met there. And he was actually in the process of doing one for Atlanta, where he's from. So he was like, I'm going to do this Atlanta one. I think we're on the same page here. And as soon as I'm done with this, let's do the Bay list. And a year later, after he launched the Atlanta list, he was like, all right, the Bay's up next. Let's do it. And so we started building this with, you guys know my producing partner, Samantha, who works with all sort of my Bay Area, like more philanthropic stuff down here. And she generously signed on and was like, I'll do this for nothing. Let's just build this list together. And we started looking for partners. So we got Steph Curry, we got Boots Riley's company, we got Kamau Bell, we got, Tom Hanks's company came on, Coppola's company came on, but, a bunch of others, Dolby, Lucasfilm. It's really like an insane list. It's like, I'm spouting it off really casually, but like when you look at the list, it's like, this is dumb. This is how did all these people say yes to be a part of this? And it's really just, there's a deep love for the Bay Area film scene. It's why a lot of these companies are based here or have strong ties here. So they know what we knew as well. And so we spent the last year promoting it and getting people to submit to the blacklist in this particular silo for a regionally specific list. We got over 1,000 submissions, which is crazy for any of their lists, much less like a list in its first year. I had a hunch. I know how the Bay gets down, but I think they were like really thrown off by how many people applied. And we just announced our 10. Which took months and months and months to narrow down. It was on the cover of Datebook, which is obviously like our big Chronicle local paper. It was on Deadline, of course. And now we're getting all these requests in from big production companies in LA to read the list, to read the 10 scripts, or to read these 3 or read these 5. And it's already doing its job, which is fucking incredible.
Yeah. I did want to ask you, since we talked to you last July, it was announced in October. So just a little over a year ago, but how the sausage was made, really. Like, you get all these submissions and then what? And then you have these 17 partners. That's what I counted. Are they all reading everything? Or how does this happen? If you can share some of that.
Yeah. The blacklist has its own like Willy Wonka factory, right? Okay. Like they've been doing this for 20 years. So I wouldn't step in the middle of that. Right. They've got an expert level list of readers who are industry professionals, or people who like, don't quote me on their criteria, but it's like they've written on 2 or more television shows, so it's like people who are familiar with the process, who've worked for showrunners, who may be showrunners themselves, who've been in the business of scripts and what it takes to get something on the air. Right. And that's their reader base. And they've also been readers at the blacklist for a long time. And so there's the big submission process where you're submitting for an assessment, and the assessment is how we get a diagnostic on your script. So a reader reads it top to bottom, they do coverage on it, and they give you notes. Now, you're just using the blacklist resource to get the diagnostic, and you can get the notes, and you can take those notes, go away, and submit again to try to get a higher score, right? It's just like taking like the SATs or something, like go back, study, do it again. Some people did it once, some people did it more than once. It's to your dime and to whatever you need to do. And we're not, all that is to pay the readers and pay the blacklist infrastructure. And like, if you talk to Franklin Leonard for 5 minutes, like, it's not like the blacklist is a big money-making scheme. Just, you got to pay readers. So they do this assessment. And then when it came time to put the list together, I'm sure what they're doing is they're getting recommendations from all their readers of like, what were the most engaging ones? What are the ones that stay with you, to a smaller list, to a smaller list, to a smaller list. And then eventually it was down to 30, which went out to all of the partners and us.
Wow.
Our job was to whittle down from 30 to 10, which is really hard.
Yeah.
And then some partners were reading partners, some are enrichment partners. So they're just pledging to do something on the other end, or they're pledging to promote the list or to take generals with everyone. And then some people were intense readers. Some people had readers in their company that were then recommending scripts to them. Anyway, all that said, like, we got down to these big Zoom calls where we would get everyone on from every company. We did them in groups because it's hard to get everyone together, but like, all right, we're going to do 6 here and 6 here and 3 here. And we would talk about the scripts. And, you know, me and David and Sam kind of stay out of it. We're just facilitating in that moment. And we're like, you know, you guys, here are the ones that you suggested, but like, no one else has said this script, for example. Can you talk about why this one's on your list? Or, you know, this one right here is about to get taken, you know, off the 10 because nobody else has nominated it. Are you willing to nominate this one? And what does it mean if you are pushing strongly for it? Will you help this person? You know, maybe not get it made because these are mid-tier companies. They don't even, a lot of them don't produce in-house like that. They partner with bigger companies, right? But can you help this person along? And we really ultimately took the list that felt that they had the mass of enthusiasm from all the partners, and the partners seemed to be willing to work with them to get them to the next level of their careers. Now, we can't hold them to that. That's just their enthusiasm in the moment. But that to us felt like the biggest service we could do to 10 writers is give them give them the enthusiasm of the excitement of the group and give them a leg up. If someone or multiple partners were like, we want to meet with that person, it's like, oh, okay, well then we should go hard for that person.
I love the idea of being able to say, okay, if you like it, then will you help this script once it gets on the list? Can you talk about what happens after they make it on the list, because it's not over for them, the help that you provide and mentorship?
Yeah, like officially it is over.
Okay.
Officially, the only thing that we promise is a list. That's like the only service that like we would have failed if we didn't accomplish. Now the task of the partners individually is to come through on their promises. And what we did during the course of them reading is to try to get them to say an email, say to our faces what they would do. And then what we'll do, Sam and I will do, is then hound those partners and be like, hey, you remember that thing you said? Can we get that on the books? Can we make that happen? You know, and we'll see how this year goes. And hopefully everyone is amazing, but also we'll know if like this is a kick-ass partner and this is a partner that like does not have the bandwidth for this year over year. You know, so this is the learning curve, right? And what's great is it's great to get everyone's name flashy on the front and get all these companies going. And like, that looks great. And it gets everyone to want to submit and it builds the inherent excitement about the thing. But what we actually need are deliverables, right? So like, I have no interest in like novelty partners. Like, I want a company to come in and go, that script I love. We're going to bring them in and we're going to meet with them and we're going to take them seriously, or we're going to give them some development, or we're going to do a table read of their script, or we're going to, you know, whatever. And all we can really do is do that thing that all artists do when you don't really have any leverage, which is go like, you said, you promised, you know, and see how they hold. And I have a hunch everyone's going to hold. If anything, we've gotten more interest since the list has come out of people who weren't partners this year who are like, we want to get involved. And seeing, can we get them involved on this list, or is it not until next year? But officially, we make a list. Unofficially, yes, we're going to try to leverage as much as we can because it's a win for the list if somebody gets their movie made or their TV show bought, you know.
100. That is, it's so exciting, I think, for the Bay, and something to look forward to. And so what are you looking at to next year? Are you guys already planning out, or are you taking a little rest? Maybe eating a sandwich?
Yeah, I mean, eating a sandwich, having some coffee, taking
Yeah.
a Adderall.
Take a nap.
Take a nap. No, I mean, I think we've joked about it a lot enough to know that I think everyone isn't interested. I don't know about partners. I think we're
Right.
still doing our debrief with partners because they still have a deliverable,
Right.
ideally, right? Whereas we're kind of like, well, our part of it is kind of getting handed off, and we have admin to do. But for the most part, like, the Blacklist has done their reader thing. They've announced a list. They've they've done a big chunk. I think my producing partner Samantha like could not have worked harder. I think she needs a break,
Yeah.
so that she's willing to do this again. But I think we learned a lot this year in terms of what we need to ask for and where the big burdens are in this process. Also, what we didn't know in terms of people submitting, right? Like there was a big moment where people were like, oh, if I had known that I could get an assessment, do notes, and resubmit, I would have done that, And I was like, oh, that's crazy. I didn't really think about people submitting 6 months early, using the blacklist just as a reader, redoing it, and then just trying to get on the list. So there's stuff like that like reverse engineering from there and going, hey, we're 6 months out. If you guys want paid feedback, you should do it this way. If you want to group up with other writers, here are some deadlines we can just kind of arbitrarily give you. 4 months before, why don't you get your script read from a friend and get notes? Why don't you resubmit at this point and try to get your scores up? Hey, statistically, the I don't know, again, I'm spouting off the top of my head, but like let's say 100 scripts were on the list that all had 8s. Like I can tell you right now, then if you get a 6 and the top 100 were 8s or the top hundreds were 7s, I can at least tell you like, hey, if you got a 6, you should go back. Instead of waiting around for 5 months thinking like, did I get on the list? But like, I know that this score is not high enough to get in main consideration. Like, what are the ways that we can help writers self-assess so that they have a chance? And then also, I mean, on the flip side, I've said this on my social media stuff, and like I think I'll probably eventually at some point put a letter up on our website. Like, I wouldn't have made this list. Like I'm not. I don't win contests. I don't. I'm not that kind of writer. I'm not a mass writer in that way. I'm trying to be, and hopefully I'll get there at some point. And certainly, like that is the step of my career I'm trying to get to. Is like, what does it mean to write something that is niche and mass simultaneously? But I do want to also encourage writers who are on the list, because I had friends who submitted. I'd read those scripts. Those are good ass scripts, and for some reason they didn't resonate this year with those readers, or the subject matter wasn't the right time. It's so arbitrary to score art, Yeah. That takes nothing away from the 10 that made it. I think those are like undeniably good scripts. The 10 that are on, like across the board, people enjoyed them, liked them, wanted to see them get made. But that doesn't mean they're the only makeable, lovable scripts of the 1,000 at all, So I think there's also just the win of finishing a script and putting yourself on the fucking judgment block of any lists, because there's hella other lists. There's hella other labs.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of other, and then you get to go through the process of, I hate to say it, but like the process of rejection, which is a huge part of being an artist. And you can find out whether or not you want to do that as a career. Because, 95% of my career has been deep, painful rejection. And you got to learn how to stare that in the face and go, I disagree. Or I see why it didn't hit the mark, but I think there's something great here, or, oh, I learned a lot writing this script and I see what you mean that this isn't the one, but I think there was a lot of growth here. And now I'm going to take everything I learned from this one and I'm going to write another one. And I'm not going to get caught up on the same shit. I think the list is doing maybe a bigger service of that for the 990 other people than just as a list, just as a ritual, than it is worrying about whether or not you made it or not.
It's just good practice.
It's just good practice.
Yeah.
And that feedback is priceless. Did you get any feedback from the blacklist, like the first set of the readers, about any particular threads of these storytellers from the Bay? Were there any common themes? Were people like heavy into like horror or any sort of commonality within the Bay list?
The only thing that I noticed is that I don't know why I thought this, but I thought there'd be a lot of hometown stories, and there weren't. They existed people submitted them for sure, but if you look at the list, it's a lot of fantasy. It's a lot of stuff that doesn't take place here. It's a lot of like bigger imaginations. And I think that's awesome that people weren't like, oh, Rafa and David wrote a hometown movie, so that's gonna be something that they're gonna be more inclined to. It's like, no, that's the first movie we could get made, but this isn't that route. Like, this is just a script competition, right? And you don't got to worry about your budget right now, right? Whatever, because some companies really responded to wildly imaginative stuff and didn't think about whether or not they would produce it or not. And other companies, like, their taste was, would we make this? And so there's no clear bullseye. You can't write towards anything with the Bay list. You can't write towards Bay sensibilities because these companies are based in the Bay, but the readers aren't, like, not necessarily. And the executive producers at those companies, like, I don't know if they're from the Bay. It's the founder, maybe. Steph Curry's company, like, is everyone there from the Bay? Doubt it.
Right.
So you just have to write for your own sensibilities, and I think a lot of people did. And I think then what you get is that, like, a good representation of how imaginative Bay Area writers are, and they don't limit themselves to just writing what they know, which I've heard that my whole career, write what you know. And I think sometimes people take that so literally, like, oh, just write your lived experiences. Like, oh, I grew up in this area, so I'm going to write this area, or I grew up, looking this way or being this way. And it's like, no, right? Like, if you know a lot about anxiety, write a story about anxiety, but don't worry about setting it in your own body, or in your own hometown. Like, use location and the kind of person, and is it a kid, is it an old person, is it whatever. Use these as great metaphors and symbolism for the thing, the feeling, the emotional journey that you know a lot about, and use all of your characters to explore that, right? Like I always say, people are like, if you just write only what you know, all of your stories would have one person. You have to write other people and other places and imagine into those things. And I think the Bay Area has no problem doing that, because it's a place that is your imagination is really encouraged in the Bay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still. I love that you came up and did some in-person press. I'm glad the Bay was there for you. How was going to the radio stations, 94.9 and KMEL?
I grew up obviously
Yes.
listening to those stations.
Yep.
So I actually just went in to do 94.9 for like half an hour on my way to the airport.
Oh.
And on my way in, I realized that I booked the right time and the right day like a month later. So I was like, oh, all right, so not that flight. And then I booked another flight, and then I was hanging out at 94.9, and they were like, she was just like, this is so fun. You should just hang out. And I was like, all right. I stayed for like 5 hours. and then
What?
And then Vaughn had his show at 2 on KMEL, and he FaceTimed her during the show, and like she turned the camera around, and he was like, yo, was like, yo, stick around, I'm there at 2. And so I was like, all right.
Oh, shit.
And I walked over and went to KMEL. Like, none of that was planned.
Oh, I love that.
But it was a good hang, because like I grew up
Yep.
listening to Vaughn and like going to parties where he was DJing, and like we had mutual friends, and he's been a huge supporter of mine. And so getting to hang with those hosts on those stations feels like the radio that I grew up on, where like you roll through and a crew is there, and like all I really got all day was like my boys who I grew up with being like, how come you didn't invite all of us to the radio? We would have all stood around the wall. You would have looked like, that guy. Like, I know I should have brought my goons, but the problem is all my goons are 40 with kids.
Right. Yeah.
Like, if this happened in my early 20s, we would have looked lit, but now it would have been like everyone's there with their, oh, we got to leave early. Our kids are at soccer.
Yeah. Or like us, like, oh, I have gout, I can't stand for too long.
Yeah.
Like, will there be seating there? I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of my boys be like, they got chairs, right? Dog.
Yeah, that's me. Yep. I need to sit on the end in case I need the bathroom.
Yeah, it's real.
But they would light up their weed in there. That would still happen.
No, that's legal here. Yeah.
I don't know if it is legal.
It's legal here.
I did want to ask if working on this blacklist / Bay list has helped you as a writer, has inspired you to do more personal projects writing wise?
Yeah, well, one, it reminds you like how much competition you have. You're like, they're not these aren't bad scripts. These are the gap between some of these scripts and getting made is just luck and opportunity. And so it humbles you. It reminds you like, oh yeah, that you got yours made because of luck and opportunity and being ready. So one, it always reminds you that like, yes, the media machine will make you feel as though the artists that are being celebrated are special and divine in some way. And then you're reminded that no, like art is a medium. It's the human expression of the people, and everyone is doing it. And a lot of people are doing it very well. And so I think it reminds you of like the power of the art form and how many people should have access to it. Um, and yeah, and then it gets you excited about your own shit because you're like, you're alone in a silo working on your own scripts, and no one around you is writing, or the few friends that you have are like in the business, and so we're talking about the frustrations of the business, but not necessarily always what's going on with our scripts. And when we do, we have those great sort of peer-to-peer moments. But to read and just, even because we didn't, obviously, like I didn't read 1,000 scripts, but I saw a lot of the synopses for a lot of these and was just like, man, this is a lot of people's heart and soul, man. People poured hours and hours and time into this. Am I pouring that kind of hours and hours of time and love into what I'm doing? Am I taking for granted at all the fact that I have certain people's phone numbers, and am I willing to put in the energy on the next draft that this person put in on this draft? And I do think what I like about doing this is it reminds me that like, yes, we're in an art form, but we're also in a sport. Like you gotta be at the top of your shit, because people aren't going to come and like anoint you a genius and be like, whatever you do is going to be great. Like we have to stay sharp, and really study the craft. And for the scripts that made it through or did really well, I'm like, look at these studious motherfuckers. Look at these people who really put in the time, studied structure, even if they then abandoned it. Paced this thing well, engaged all of these readers. Like it's magical when a bunch of people who read scripts all the time and are not impressed, are like there's a few on that list, which I'm not gonna call out because I think it's unfair, but like there are a few on that list where like every partner liked it. And you're like, damn, all of y'all, like this is on everyone's list. What a bar. Like what an accomplishment that like across the board readers of different tastes were like, we can all agree that this is a good script. Oh, I don't know how many times you get that in a career, but I know the few times where like I've taken out a script or a pilot or an idea and gone around town, and like I think it's happened like twice where like everybody wanted it. You're like, oh my God, what did I do? Let me retrace my steps. What did I do? How did I get this right? What were my steps? Who did I call? Who read this? Because you've stumbled onto a key turn for your own creativity. And I think this reminded me that like, that's what we're chasing, is not like getting lucky and writing something good because you killed yourself doing it, but learning how to have repeat success. And I think about, just because we have athlete partners, like athletes who hit the gym and are like, now I'm going to do this 3-point shot 300 times today until it's perfect. Like there are comps for that in writing, where you drill structure over and over and over again, and you read other people's scripts so that you can practice. And this was great practice for me, because I'd be 10 pages into somebody's script and be like, I've seen 2 structural errors. Let's see if they did this on purpose or if this was an accident. And sometimes you get to page 15 and you go, oh, you got me. I was good. Really satisfying. I'm going to keep going. Or you see the next mistake and you go, this person's still figuring out how to pull me in to the story. And I have notes, and I can give those notes. The readers have given those notes. And that's what this process is for them. For them, it's to get this note. For this person who got me on page 15, we're going to get to page 30. We're going to see how this feels,
We have to wrap soon, but We have a new thing that we do on Bitch Talk, and I think you're gonna have like a list.
Okay.
So we do this thing called This Bitch. See, I knew it. I was like, this bitch is gonna love this bitch. But
Funny.
yeah, but
Right.
who's this bitch for you right now? You can vent or you can shine a light, whatever you want.
Oh, who do I want to gas right now? I want to gas the new mayor of New York.
Oh, fuck
Oh,
yes.
yes.
This bitch.
This
Better.
bitch.
Correct. Fuck.
Um, I want to gas that fool.
Mhm.
Also, I've noticed how many people I not like are like close friends with, but am acquaintances with who are friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
But when you realize, like, oh, the circle is small,
Yeah.
and the people that I know who know him who are vouching for him are good humans, you know. So I'm like, oh, like, not that I thought any of this was smoke and mirrors. I believe that man, but it's so great when like you're rooting for someone and then someone you know is like, no, I know them, they're awesome. You're like, yes,
Mhm.
Right.
because
Mhm.
like you know them personally, and you
Yeah.
vouch for you vouch for them to be the mayor of a city you live in, which is wild.
Right.
So yeah, that bitch gets all the props.
Oh,
Yeah.
agreed. Thank
uh,
you.
who else? Yes, on props. 50 gets
Correct. Yep.
this bitch. I think if I want to hate on anybody right
I
now.
mean, there's so many, but you
um,
don't have
I,
to.
I, yeah, I still want to hit on that ballroom.
Oh
Oh
God.
God.
I want to hate on that ballroom forever. I want to hate on every company that contributed money to that.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
Forever want to hate on ICE.
Yep. Oh,
Mhm.
Can't wait for the trials, and
me too. When is that
I
happening?
can't wait for the trials. That's gonna be great. No, and then, but I will say, and I already shouted this out, so he's just gonna think I'm kissing his ass now, but that's fine. Blue Moon is really good.
Mhm.
Ethan's movie is really good. I had a really like hilarious moment with Richard Linklater because I met him and didn't realize who I was sitting next to.
Oh,
I was at the Wildcat premiere and we're like, let's go to the after party. Ethan's like, let's go to the after party. Just hop in my car. And I got it and it's me. I'm in the middle. Ethan is here and Linklater is here. And I just didn't talk to him. I just didn't clock who it was because I'm bad with faces.
yeah.
And like, why would he be in this car? But of course he's in this car. Let me get to the after party and like we're walking and Ethan's like, oh, you know, like, I
You're
just
like,
had
I
like a
do?
20-minute car ride with a director I deeply admire.
And then that's when you realized, oh, that's why I was sitting bitch.
Like
Yeah.
I was sitting bitch
Like,
because
yep.
I was having a bitch ass moment. Um and but no, Blue Moon's so good. Andrew Scott's one of my favorite actors, sort of like contemporary actors.
hmm
And it's this, I don't know if you know what that movie's about, but it's the it's the era, it's the beginning of Roger Hammerstein, and Richard Rodgers as old songwriting partner is kind of getting dumped, and it's a
Ooh.
play about like Roger Hammerstein are doing their first show, they're doing Oklahoma, and it's the biggest hit ever, and it's about the other dude who's like, this is it for me, and he's an alcoholic, and sort of the end of his career in his life, and it's this amazing play where Andrew Scott's playing Richard Rodgers, and um, it's just fantastic acting, fantastic writing, and really brilliant directing, and like you know, there's probably a part of me that's like, is anyone going to see a movie that is, I don't know, do people watch movies of this nature in the theaters anymore? I don't know. I don't care. I'm just so happy that they made it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I again loved it. It's just like I'm a sucker for just a good ass script and
hmm
actors who know what to do with a good ass script. And oh, it's also one of those movies where some of my favorite movies have done this. I know we're not supposed to we're not supposed to talk about Woody Allen because
Well, yeah.
but Midnight in Paris, so good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And one of those movies where everyone is a famous person from the
Mhm.
Lost Generation or from
Right.
that era in Paris where all these writers were there. This is another one of those movies where like everyone you meet is somebody super famous.
Oh yeah.
Like becomes somebody super famous.
hmm
So the whole movie, I'm just in the theater in the back. Like I'm always in the back row just in case I need to look something up because I'm a nerd. And I'm just looking up every character. I'm like, oh, that's the person who wrote Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. That's the person who goes on to write Stuart Little. It's so great. Like it's just a fun ass movie. And I think Linklater deserves a this bitch. And so does Ethan for all time. Naturally.
Wait, yeah, can you talk about the Lowdown real quick? I want to
Oh
watch it. It's on
yeah,
the list. We haven't watched it yet.
it's awesome. Sterling Harjo, this is
Yeah.
his baby. He did Res Dogs, which I think is going to go down in history as not only an extremely important show, which I think people say that about shows they don't watch, but I think also a supremely entertaining show and a show that is sort of like a turning point for Indigenous storytelling in mass media. So, and Sterling is like a down to earth, chill, like good human, smart as fuck. And so this show, which has like modern Western noir meets Big Lebowski all over it, which is like, is my pocket. Like, if you want to like know what I'm into, that's it. And then he gets Ethan to be his lead in this show. So when I heard about it, I was like, bro, if you need somebody to hold a candle in the background, I'm trying to be down. Like I'm trying to soak up a little bit of your fairy dust because you're on some shit. You know, and I love being around people who have a very clear vision of who they are because I am always chasing like 10 different things. Like my brain is all over the place. So I love being around people who are like, I'm this person and I do this thing. I'm like, damn, that's cool. I want to have that focus. So I wanted to get on set with him. Obviously, I've done a few projects with Ethan now, so I'm sure I said that shit to him too. It was like, man, if you need help, I mean, and so they cast me in this part as the husband of his, or the boyfriend of his ex-wife and the mother of their kid. And you know, it was very like, just come, it'll be fun. It's a little holding the candle, but we'll have a good time. You know? And it was, and we did get to play and we did get to have fun, and I got to be in that world with them, and it was so fun to watch that crew work. I'll say the other thing is a lot of that crew is the crew from Res Dogs that worked on that show. Got it in Tulsa. So I also got to feel what the Res Dogs set was probably like. And what I'll say is the blind spotting set was like a unique experience. I haven't felt anything like it on any other set. It was a very loving, supportive, creatively friendly environment, right? And I don't know that just from my experience because I was at the top of the ladder and like it's hard to have any perspective on that. That was like the feedback I got from crew, which made me feel amazing, right? I got on this crew and was like, oh my God, were we anything like this? Because if we were, this is amazing. They're a brilliant, like loving community of filmmakers in Tulsa. And like if anyone hears this and is trying to look for a town location, go to Tulsa. You'll get that crew. It'll be the best, smartest thing you've ever done. They're brilliant. And that's all Sterling and Ethan. Sterling who made that with Res Dogs, and now Ethan coming in with his genius and sort of putting another level on what they're able to do. You guys diplomat people?
Oh, fuck yeah. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Yes. So good. Carrie Russell, man, for the win.
I was not a Carrie Russell person.
Me neither.
I didn't. What's the was
Felicity?
It Girls or something?
Felicity.
That's what it was. Was it
For the girls.
For the girls.
I
I think
Excuse
Gilmore
me.
Girls is what I said.
Oh, I thought you said the one for the girls.
I mislabeled her career. No, and she was on The Americans, and I was always like, I don't get it. And then The Diplomat, I was like, oh, you're dope. You're an anchor actor. Like you make everyone around you also look good.
Yeah.
But you give me a West Wing reunion any day. Happy. Very, very happy.
Which I haven't actually watched all the way through.
Oh,
that's my bad.
Talking.
That's this bitch.
Yep.
Now you're this bitch.
Yeah, excuse me. I apologize. No, but the diplomat is like giving me my relief on like a good political drama. That's the kind of shit like I hope I can grow into writing that way. It's one of those shows. I mean, there's a lot of shows like this, right? Where the foundation for your show's drama is in such a site-specific world that you need to know a lot about foreign policy and government
Yes.
just to even make the show work.
Yeah.
And what an amazing excuse to learn a ton about foreign government.
Right.
And to write a show called The Diplomat, because you need to essentially become a top-tier politician.
Yeah.
Right, to fake this. Like you guys got to the end of season 2. Are you that far along?
I haven't.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm on 3 right now.
I won't blow this, but there's a monologue that Allison Jenny does. Everyone's talking about this. It's not anyone who's watched the show is like, yeah, that monologue. She like goes to a board and she talks about what it means to be vice president. It's like a 5-minute monologue. It is the most naturalistic, beautiful. It's watching one of the great actors do something that is so difficult to do. And you're just kind of like, after a while, you're like, I'm just impressed that she's still going.
Yeah.
Because it's memorizing places and governments and politicians and policies, and it feels like a wonder. It makes every part of the show worth it because it's all building to that moment.
And to your point, it does feel natural. You're like, oh yeah, I totally buy that she's this person. 1 million.
He's definitely the smartest VP.
Yes.
I'm
Well,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, when was the last time? I don't know that I've been alive at a time where I thought we had a vice president that could do what she does on this show.
Right.
So I watched The West Wing and I'm like, what? This is basically Narnia. This is
Right.
when have we ever had? I heard one story about Bill Clinton in the 90s where like some friend of my mom's that she went to college with, which ended up working in his campaign, and said that like they were all sitting around some table in the White House talking, and they were talking about some foreign policy thing, and he was doing like a crossword. I guess he was famously always doing the crossword back in the 90s. Like that was Bill Clinton's thing. And he just put the crossword down as if he hadn't been listening the whole time, solved some huge like diplomatic issue, and went back to the crossword puzzle. And I was like, there was a time, I'm not saying he was a great, like he was the right person for the country, but like he was probably brilliant.
Yeah.
The time where that was required. It didn't mean you were good or evil. It just meant you were really fucking smart.
Really smart guy. Yeah.
It like restores my faith that there could be really brilliant people. And I think Mamdani is like,
Mamdani.
I think he's a smart man. I think this is a very clever, strategic, emotionally intelligent man.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
and imagine the Mr. Cardamom music videos that will come of this.
I know, right?
Have you seen his rapping?
Yeah, well, my question is like, what does a feature cost now?
Oh,
if we want to get him on a track, like, what do we?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, he's got bars. He's really good. I was impressed.
I bet you if David hit him up, we could get a verse.
I think you guys could do
Fuck
it.
yeah, with Lynn, like just
whatever.
whatever.
They have to be friends, right?
They all know each other, yeah.
Him and Lynn have to be friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They seem very cut from the same cloth.
Yes, very much so.
All right. Well, now I'm
this is
keeping you
exciting.
guys for no reason. I'm sure you have other things.
No,
to do.
this is exciting. Yeah, thank you. This
Fun
was
to
so
talk to you.
fun. This was so fun, Rafa. Thank you for the Bay List, and we love watching your career, where it's going. Super excited for your success as always. Thank you.
And what year are you guys in now? Where are we at?
We're about to be teenagers, 13. next year.
13.
It's amazing. That's fantastic.
We're gonna have a Teen Bop themed party. You're invited. So.
Please let me know.
Tiger Beat.
I'm trying to roll. Here, it's gonna be on the pier.
Maybe 23.
Actually, that would be a
23.
fun location. Just saying.
That'd be super fun.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, keep me posted.
All
But
right.
thanks for covering this. Really means a lot. Always.
Oh yeah, this is huge.
We're so excited. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, my friends.
Get some rest.
I
Yeah.
will. You too. Recover.
Thanks for joining us on today's show. You can find more information about this episode in our show notes.
If you're missing us, you can visit us at bitchtalkpodcast.com to sign up for our newsletter and buy us a cup of coffee.
Did you know we're also on the radio? You can find us at bff.fm.
And lastly, rate and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. All the cool bitches are doing it.